People everywhere know his name, Bill Gates. He didn't grow up rich or powerful. He didn't have special skills, and he wasn't famous. But he changed the world with his ideas.
Today, we will start his journey from the beginning. When you finish this story, you will learn new English words, and your listening will become stronger. So let's get started. Bill Gates was born on October 28, 1955, in Seattle, Washington, in the United States. He lived with a warm and caring family. His full name was William Henry Gates.
They lived a simple and calm life. His father, also named William, worked as a lawyer. He was a serious man who believed people should study hard and stay focused. Bill's mother, Mary, was gentle and smart. She taught at a school for some time. Bill loved reading more than anything. He read almost any book he found. Stories, science, history, and even books that were difficult for his age. His favorite spot in the house was their little library. School was not always interesting for him. Sometimes the lessons were too easy, and he felt tired or bored. Teachers would sometimes say he was not paying attention, but they also knew he understood things very quickly. His parents understood that he needed a school with more difficult work, so they sent him to a place called Lakeside School, a private school that helped smart and curious students learn more.
This school changed his life in a big way. Here, Bill saw something he had never used before, a computer. In the late 1960s, computers were extremely rare. They were huge machines, usually found only in universities or large companies. But Lakeside had one. And from the moment Bill touched the keyboard, he felt something special. It was like he had found a new world. He spent many long hours in the computer room. He tried different codes, learned how things worked, and practiced every day. Sometimes he even missed other classes because he didn't want to leave the computer. At first, his teachers were unhappy, but later they understood that Bill had a unique ability. When he was around 13 years old, he wrote his first small computer program, a simple tic-tac-toe game. Finishing this program made him feel proud. It showed him how powerful programming could be. During his years at Lakeside, Bill met Paul Allen. Paul was older, quiet, and very thoughtful, while Bill was active and full of energy. Even though they were different, they liked the same thing: computers. They soon became good friends. They often sat together, talking about what computers might become in the future. Paul once told Bill, "I think in the future, every person will have their own computer at home and at work." At that time, this sounded crazy. Computers were huge, expensive, and only big companies used them. But Bill agreed. He felt the same dream growing inside him. They began imagining how they could help make this dream come true. By the time Bill was 15, he wasn't only studying, he was also making money. Together with Paul, he started a small project called Traf-O-Data. They wrote a simple program that helped cities study traffic patterns. To their surprise, they made about $20,000, which was a lot for two teenagers in the 1970s. Even though Bill worked very hard, he wasn't always serious. At Lakeside, he liked sitting near the girls in class, not because he wanted to flirt, but because he thought they were calmer and more organized. Being around them actually helped him learn better and communicate more confidently. Bill was also very competitive. He loved solving problems and often challenged his friends to see who could think faster. He didn't like losing and always pushed himself to do better. In 1973, when Bill was 18, he entered Harvard University, one of the most famous schools in the world. His parents were very happy. They hoped Bill would follow in his father's footsteps and become a lawyer. But Bill had another path in mind. Even at Harvard, Bill's deep interest in technology made people notice him. He loved creating programs and finding ways to make computers work better. He didn't act like a typical student. He thought ahead and imagined things that didn't exist yet. In 1975, when Bill was only 20, he made a huge choice. He left Harvard so he could start a company with Paul. His parents were shocked and told him Harvard is important for your future. But Bill answered, "My future is in computers. If I don't take this chance now, I will regret it." That same year, Bill and Paul created their new company and named it Microsoft. Their main aim was clear: to make useful software for personal computers. The beginning was very difficult. They had no office, very little money, and no large team. It was just the two of them trying to turn their idea into reality. As the company grew, he began hiring smart programmers and engineers who could help build stronger products. Bill Gates was not only good at writing code, he was also a strong leader. He encouraged his team, pushed them to think differently, and wasn't afraid to make bold decisions. By 1987, when Bill was only 31 years old, he reached a huge milestone. He became the youngest person in history to build a billion-dollar fortune through his own efforts. In 1987, he met a young woman named Melinda French. She worked at Microsoft, and she was smart, thoughtful, and very hard-working. Bill and Melinda began spending time together. In 1994, they were married in a quiet ceremony in Hawaii. Their wedding wasn't flashy, it was simple and peaceful, just like their personalities. The couple later welcomed 3 children: Jennifer, Rory, and Phoebe. Even though Bill and Melinda were extremely wealthy, they didn't raise their kids with an extravagant lifestyle. They taught them to be humble, to work hard, and to treat others with respect. As Bill got older, he began to think differently about his money. He realized that his wealth could help more than just his company. So, in the year 2000, he and Melinda created a large charity organization called the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. This foundation works on major global issues, such as improving health, helping fight diseases like malaria, tuberculosis, and HIV, education, helping children in poor areas attend school and get proper learning, clean water, building systems so families in poor communities can drink safe water. Bill once said something meaningful. When you reach a certain amount of money, extra money doesn't change your life. Its real value comes from helping people who need it most.
In 2006, he made a surprising announcement. He would no longer manage the daily work at Microsoft. Many people were shocked. Why would someone leave the company they created from nothing? But Bill explained his choice clearly. He said something like, "I've been fortunate to build a career in technology. Now I want to use my time to help the world."
Bill Gates left Microsoft to focus on helping the world through his foundation, supporting children, improving health and education, and working on clean energy, even though some people criticized him. He stayed focused on his mission to make the world better.
And Bill Gates' story doesn't end here. In fact, it's just the beginning of the powerful legacy he is building for the world. A legacy that reminds us that anyone can make a positive difference, even with the smallest actions. Dear friends, if you learned something new from this video, please give it a like and leave a comment. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you won't miss our next videos. Thank you so much.